to go to the shop, right, and get some potatoes and some bread every night, right? And I kept taking this into school.
So, what was it, Dublin in the 17th century?
Yeah.
What do you mean every day you went to the shops and got potatoes and bread?
That's kind of what I had to get all the time. That's what we had.
Why? What did you have? Chip sandwiches?
Yeah.
Right, so you went to the... you went there.
So I kept putting that...
yeah.
I kept putting that in the diary, every night, saying, went to U-Phase. That was the name of the shop. Yeah.
What is it called?
U-Phase.
What is it, you or you?
Like H-U-G-H.
H-U-G-H, yeah. Oh, that was his name?
U-Phase, right? Used to go there, get the potatoes and bread and that.
I love the fact someone who's named a shop after themselves. I'm not going to say what we sell, it's named after me or nothing, or about opening.
Mainly potatoes and bread. White sliced loaves, King Edward's.
And the teacher used to always say, just write something different in there, make something up. Because Monday, Tuesday, all the way through to Friday, every night it was just, went to U-Phase.
So you think...
Are you sure it wasn't an advert? Sure it wasn't paying you to say, get my name in the book?
Yeah. The only time that it changed, and she said, oh, that's made it a bit more interesting, was when it was my birthday and I had to buy a cake.
Potatoes and a cake.
And she said, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That was my 13th birthday. My mum said, I got home from school, she said, oh, you're 13 today. Teenager, big turnover. Go and get a cake.
That's your experience of writing?
No, what? No, that's your experience of your 13th birthday. Oh, by the way, you're 13 today, go and get a cake.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Big surprise? Was it a big surprise? yeah, that is brilliant. I love it.
That's the only sort of writing.
What, and they never asked you to write essays or stories?
Did you never write a story or a poem or
The stories I did earlier on were, you made them up, but it was that thing that I'd always end them with, and an alarm went off and it was all a dream.
That's one of them.
Yeah. But they didn't, I mean, it was a bit of a...
I want some potatoes and some bread, but I wouldn't have it was all a dream.
Then I went to shops and bought some potatoes and bread. But did you ever do anything that write about an adventure when you were a spaceman, or you were you were a cowboy, or... No?
All the teachers had scams going on, so in English, right, you'd go in there and the teacher would say, right, what we're doing today is brochures from Thomson, but they say 1983 on the front, so I've got a load of stickers here that say 1984, let's see how many you can do in half an hour.
You are joking.
Did you go to school with Oliver Twist?
Sorry, you are joking.
I'm not, that's what they did. So the teacher must have been getting a freebie or something for helping them out. Honestly, yeah, that's what it's like.
That is fantastic.
They were all at it.
They were all, other than Mr. Fagan, you had...
Yeah. And then when they saw Karate Kid, they had every kid washing their car go, wax on, wax off, hurry up. Yeah. I'm teaching you something. Wax on, wax off, paint the fence.
So I'm just saying, that's why I'm a bit quiet, because you're talking about stuff I can't
relate to.
And why didn't you sleep last night?
I haven't slept well since I was about 12. Do you sleep well, Steve?
Oh, wait, you can't let that go! I haven't slept well since I was 12. What do you mean?
Do you know, a proper... I used to love going to bed as a kid.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's am I going to sleep tonight? And I sort of wake up about 4 times. Whereas when you're a kid, I remember really loving going to bed. There was one time where I actually laughed myself to sleep because I couldn't believe me luck.
What's wrong with him? What do you mean you laugh yourself?
Have you ever had it when you're really tired and you get in bed and the pillows feel
it's all cold. Yeah.
And it's I can't believe this.
Yeah.
And it happened twice. Once when I just went to bed and I was really looking forward to it, and also when I helped my dad out once, through the night. He worked at this paper company, right? And I helped him out, and I got in at about 4 in the morning with him. Got in bed, and I just was I was laughing my head off. I had to put the pillow over my head because I couldn't believe me luck. I was oh, this is great. This, I'm going to sleep.
I just have to say, life up north is so extraordinary.
No, but you must be the easest kid in the world to please. No wonder she knew she could just go get a cake. It's sort of what was he expecting her to say? He was expecting an extra hour in bed, but he got him cake as well.
I love that. Any supper, brilliant.
Brilliant, yeah. Your own bed. How long was it before you got your own? What did you used to do before? Just some straw in the corner?
No, it's just that thing of when you're really tired and...
And do you ever do this with Suzanne then? Do you ever allow yourself to sleep with her?
No, that's what I
She
mean.
can't sleep because you're chuckling away.
I don't know what's up with me. I've got a lot going on.
Carl, it was in Heat this week, and they mentioned that he does this thing on Sky. What is it?
It's this thing with Richard Bacon, some programme about watching telly, and you just talk about what you're watching and that.
And he was annoyed because he said because his parents are there, and so he's not doing it. He's not going to turn up because they mentioned it in Heat.
And so his parents might watch.
Yeah.
Why are you worried about that?
I don't like them watching stuff, do I? I told you, it dates back to when I did Little Donkey at school. I don't want people watching me.
What's that? Just renew us on Little Donkey. What happened?
It was just, I was there to play the drums and that in We Three Kings. I was loving it, I got a bit carried away.
How old were you?
About 13.
Yeah.
Right?
Really?
Probably.
Yeah.
About 10 probably.
Yeah. Go on.
6.
Jesus. How old were you? What school were you at?
Okay, you were playing Little Donkey.
Yeah.
And,
No,
No, but it was one of them schools where everyone sort of was in the same one. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, a Manchester school.
What do you mean?
Well, it's like
What, sweeping chimneys in the day and then 1 hour of learning? What are you talking about? What school were you at? Was it infants, junior or secondary?
didn't really do that. It was
What
one
do
where...
you mean? You did that? They still have to abide by the laws of the land in Manchester.
No, but it was a lot more like you had infants, but you
Yeah.
also had like the older lot. There was kids there who, when you're in the younger year and that, you'd see kids and you go,
Talk English and use terms that people do when they're talking about schooling.
I don't even want to talk about this.
No, how old were you? What? Oh.
I'm guessing maybe 6 or 7 or 8.
So you went from 13 to 6?
Yeah, but like I say, it's hard to remember because...
Imagine if you were giving evidence in a trial.
Yeah. How old were you? I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I can't really narrow it down other than 7 years either way.
You know, theoretically,
Yeah.
he could get called up for jury service. Right, you're on...
A lot of mates who I had didn't have enough money to go on holiday and they just get a present for the summer holiday.
I would just like...
Of course, they've got an education, so it's always...
Yeah, but Carl, the thing with Carl is, right, I want to give him gifts.
Yeah.
I want him to have the loveliest Christmas ever. I want him to go pony trekking. Do you know what I mean? I want to just...
Scared of horses.
So many things we don't know about Carl.
Fell off one out of fate and the woman didn't know what to do. She couldn't handle the horse. It was running off. I was hanging underneath, getting a kick in the head.
Really?
Now, hang on, what age were you? This could explain a lot.
I was about 6.
That makes a lot of sense. I think we've got to the bottom of it here.
Oh no, got kicked in the head by a horse, lived in a caravan, and had to live in Wales half the time. Oh, then no wonder this is your favourite time of the week. Do you look forward to this all week, these 2 hours?
It's alright. My mate, right, he was religious. And I'm not, really. But
No, I mean you believe in ghosts though and shadows pushing people off bikes. But go on.
it's the same time, I think I told you once before that I went to the church with this lad because I swore and he said he was going to tell me dad.
Yeah.
I was effing and jeffing. So he said if you
Is that how they get people to church nowadays?
I love that little kid that he hasn't got the idea of the protection game. There's nothing in it for him. Either you turn to religion or tell your father.
Right, so I went to church with him and that, and then the next week he said, I know that was rubbish and you didn't enjoy it. It's when I got kicked out for messing with the tennis ball in the pews, right?
I don't think we've heard that, but I don't think we can possibly go into that now.
Summed it up.
Yeah.
So,
Well, no,
come on, we'll come back to that. You had a tennis ball and some pubes.
no, in the pews.
Pews, right.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I went there and I said, I don't think much of this church thing, it's a bit boring.
Sorry, and so you went to church and you ended up in the Crusades.
No, it's called the Crusaders. What it is, it's meant to be the fun part of religion for kids.
Right.
And my mate said, oh, you want to come along? It's, you go on a Friday night and do it on a Sunday as well. Brilliant. So I went on the Friday night, it was brilliant. They had Sabutio, played table tennis in this dead big old house.
And what do they do at the end? Say, I hope you enjoy yourself. Remember God gave you all this.
Well, it's sort of, enjoy the simple things in life. You don't need computer games, you can play table tennis and talk with your friends and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, that's alright.
I think you'd be happy in a young offenders institute. to clean the toilets there
But
as
don't
well.
forget, Carl, I think God invented Nintendo too.
Right. Well, anyway, so that was all right. I loved it on the Friday.
Yeah.
And my mate said if you go for 4 weeks in a row without missing a day,
Yeah.
You get a free badge. And, I'm
And
like,
salvation.
I don't like all this sort of being stuck in stuff. Do you know?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what I did
Yeah,
about
no, you get
school.
tied down.
Do you know what I mean, it's like every day.
Yeah.
Right, so anyway, so you've got to come again on Sunday. So I thought, well, we'll have another game of table tennis. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
So anyway, I go on the Sunday.
Who was this? Who was this servant of God?
Right. I go on the Sunday. It's like a totally different club. There's no table tennis.
That's how they trick you.
No Sabutio.
Yeah.
They start handing out Bibles.
Oh.
And
It's
I
like a
was like,
timeshare
hang
thing.
on a minute, right?
They trick you.
So I didn't go again on Sundays. I used to just go on the Friday.
Just go on the Friday. Brilliant. Brilliant. I'm amazed no one else saw through that.
Well, the thing is, there used to be loads there on the Friday, so I thought they won't even notice if that I'm not like.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? That I'm not showing up on Sunday. So anyway, carried on. It was
Just this
brilliant.
kid in the vicar.
Oh, I love that. You got one over on the church.
So I was loving it, right? Playing table tennis and that. And then on a Sunday, they found out where I live, and the head fella started coming round, knocking on the door.
God.
He's everywhere, Rick.
Why did he knock?
The fella,
Politeness.
the fella who like ran the club, he started coming around knocking on the door. And I saw him coming up the path, and I said to my mum, "Oh, it's the fella from the Crusaders." She didn't even know what I was.
No.
she
She
was
thought
like,
you were
"What
off
are
nicking
talking
hubcaps
about?"
and stealing cars.
She didn't have a clue what I was talking about.
You've been going to church.
to church, I don't
You
believe it.
little
That's
bleeder.
not how we brought you up.
So I said, "Look, just tell him I'm not in. Tell him I'm not in." And she had to keep doing this, and they were coming round every Sunday to try and make me like go on a Sunday. It was really important that I went and that I was abusing the system and all this. Anyway, I didn't go. And then
Why didn't they just tell you on next time you turned up on a Friday?
no, well, because there were so many people there on the Friday, you just get mixed in the crowd.
Yeah.
It was jammed. It was well popular on a Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But anyway, on one of the Sundays, it was quiet for a bit, and they stopped coming round. So I thought, right, I can go out again, right, on a Sunday, because I used to avoid hanging around the house.
What sort of reign of terror? This is
Incredible.
So I thought,
It's
right,
like the Spanish Inquisition.
so I thought, great, they forgot about me.
Yeah.
Everything, I can carry on in sort of normal life now.
Yeah.
And I was playing out in the avenue. Fella comes round, and he goes, "There you are. You know, you're always busy on a Sunday. You enjoy Fridays and that, don't you?" I was like, yeah. He goes, "Well, come on, you've got to come with me." And I couldn't get out of it. No. I mean, it's like, what could I say,
Charlie says.
right?
Yeah.
So anyway, he nearly killed me in a car crash. So that was the excuse I used next time. He had a Mini, right? And he was driving us there, and he hit the curb, nearly sort of turned over the Mini. There was like 3 of us in the back. So I said,
That record.
so next time,
Or was it a joke?
Next time he came round to pick us up, I said, "Look, really enjoyed it and that." I said, "But ever since that journey, I really, you know, I don't want to get in the car with you again because it scared me a bit." And I said,
Right.
"All right then, I didn't have to go again."
That's all right, isn't it?
That's extraordinary.
Yeah.
He almost killed you in a car
It's
crash.
powerful. Thank God no one was hurt.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Your life moves in incredible ways.
Yeah.
Rather like God.
Yeah. So
So there you go.
they're probably round there now, aren't they? Going, is he coming tomorrow? So, would you like to start on your to Steve, because I've heard all these.
Well, we won't do them all.
Well, we'll start off with the Mr. Freeze. Tell Steve the story of Mr. Freeze. This is the first time he nearly died.
This is the most serious of the lot, really. So, what it was, do you know, like, I don't know if your mum and dad did the same thing, but, like, they do the weekly shopping on like a Friday.
Yep.
So when you got to Thursday, there wouldn't be much stuff left in the cupboard. It'd just be like, you know, your Jacob's crackers and stuff like that. So when they'd been to the supermarket and they came back, I was like, you know, what's that saying? Like a pig in. You know, I loved it. It was like loads of food coming in, loads of biscuits.
What is that saying?
He nearly said pig in shit.
Right.
Is that the same?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, all this food comes in.
Thank God he didn't.
Although I didn't really in trouble.
That's true enough.
Because he's culpable for our actions, because he's the producer. So technically, that twat's in charge. Go on.
Right, so anyway, so there's loads of food, and I'm like, oh yeah, look at this, some chocolate biscuits, and, you know, penguins and stuff.
Bacon.
And bacon.
Just in case, you never know.
So anyway, my mum and dad's putting the food away. Me and our kid are like, he's already grabbed something, gone back upstairs.
It's like feral children. It's like a quest for fire. And then they run upstairs. Well, they just sit under the bed, gnawing at some sort of pig's trotter.
So I saw, do you remember Mr. Freeze Pops?
I do, yeah. So they're kind of like popsicles, icicles.
Yeah, but really long, like a foot long, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, I'll have one of them, so I grabbed it.
Went for the nutritious stuff first.
Absolutely.
And like my mum and dad are putting this stuff away and what have you. And I rip it open and knock it back, right? Straight away, just right back like
Swallow it
that.
straight away, yeah.
But it went down the wrong way, right? So
What, down your shirt?
So I was like, oh God, I can't breathe. And my mum and dad didn't even know what I'd ate. Do you know what I mean? I ate it so quick.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of tapping my mum on the back, going, and she's going, oh God, you know, he's choking again, because I was always choking. I don't know if I've got like a small throat, but I mean, even Ricky knows I can't drink that much, can I?
Yeah.
Do you know,
Or eat pebbles.
I'm not a quick drinker. I'd always, I think I'm scared of like swallowing stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like bottle tops and imperials and stuff. I was always choking on stuff. So anyway, she's going, oh God, what's he picked up on it now?
Drop it. And
So-
she hit his nose with a stick.
So I was going, oh, I'm choking. At this point, my dad had like, I think he'd put his share away, you know, his food away, and he'd gone.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. He'd gone to watch like Winner Takes All or whatever in a lounge, and I was in the kitchen, and I was starting to like I didn't care anymore. Do you know what I mean? I just got to that point where I wasn't struggling anymore.
You just thought, I'm done
I just
for.
was like falling to the ground. And my mum's going, you know, get in here, I think it's serious. And my dad comes in and sort of starts shouting at me, saying that's what you get for being greedy. He didn't even know what I'd eaten.
Well, it was the moment to teach you a lesson, certainly.
So he's there like that, and my mum's going, oh, look at him, and my lips were going purple, and my eyes were rolling into the back of my head.
Look like Marilyn Manson.
And so anyway, she grabbed me from behind and did that fireman thing.
Behind it manoeuvre.
Yeah. And, you know, winded me, and it came up, and I was alright.
What, the whole popsicle came flying back out?
You see, that's what I don't understand, because there was nothing there.
No, just a little bit. No, it swells up, doesn't it? Because it irritated it. So it went down this sort of like your epiglottis. It went down the wrong way, like it went into your air canal instead of your throat, and it sort of spasms, and that's the fear. You just got to calm it down and relax.
So in time, I would have been alright.
Yeah,
anyway.
you don't.
Well, no,
yeah.
you might have...
So that's so
hang on,
one.
But the weird thing is, like for like 3 days after that, I felt like a sort of a special person. I went to school.
I'll say nothing.
I did full days.
a special needs person.
Yeah.
I went to school the next 3 days after that. I didn't like wag it or anything. I did full days.
I love that. 3 days, turn everything.
Exactly. After 3 days, you thought, screw it.
Yeah, did a quick history exam.
But have you ever had that where you've like felt like I've been given another chance here?
Right, next one.
weird.
That's popsicle. That's popsicle hell. We'll call that. Right, next one.
Which one's the next one?
Oh, what about your paper round?
Right.
Can I ask very quickly, did your life flash before your eyes like they say it did?
No, I just sort of went really calm and like, I'm ready for this now.
Right.
I wasn't bothered, do you know what I mean?
You had no
scared.
regrets?
No. It was weird. It was really weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, the paper round one. Paper round, I'd still say it's the best job I've ever had.
And he means it.
No, I really enjoyed it. It's like, you know, you don't have to work with anyone else, right? So you make your own rules.
Just think of that.
You know, you sort of
You're
around.
spreading information
Well, yeah,
to people.
yeah,
Vital
giving
information.
a service,
Yeah.
and no one else is around. You know, you can just do what you want and think about stuff whilst you're cycling around on your bike. It's really good.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Imagine the stuff he's thinking about when he's riding around.
Oh, I can't. Oh, so getting in the head of a salamander.
So anyway, I loved it, and even though I only got like 50p a day, right, no matter what the weather was like and stuff, I used to get up at 4:30 and go and do the round, and
Why'd you get up at 4:30?
because I wanted to watch the Pink Panther at 5:30, so I wanted to get me paper round done.
I said, why didn't you watch Pink Panther?
And then did the
He went, oh, I can't sit there thinking I've got my paper round to do.
You'll ruin it for him.
Yeah. So is it a good job or not?
So 4:30 I was up and about, and this morning it was like winter, really bad winter, bad snow, you know, freezing cold, really windy and all that. And my mum said to me before I went to bed, she said, don't be getting up tomorrow, I'll give you the 50p. I said, it's not about the 50p, So, you know, people want the papers and stuff. So,
Conscientious.
so anyway, I went to bed thinking, you know, that's it. I've told her I'm still going, so, you know, whatever. Go to sleep, get up in the morning, and put all my kit on. And I used to have layers of clothing on because it was really cold. I had like a big anorak on with the fur on. I had like waterproof pants, and I got my paper round bag. And I went downstairs to get out and tried to open the door and it was locked. I thought, oh God, so she'd locked it so I couldn't go out. So I'm searching around the house looking for the keys. She must have hid them somewhere. I thought, oh God, you know, I've got the papers to do. So I thought, how can I get out? So I went upstairs, climbed out of the bathroom window. God, right, and to try and jump out of the bathroom window onto the porch. But the problem was, I had so much gear on, I was like the Michelin Man, so I could hardly move as it is.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get out the window, and I'm like, trying to stretch down like that, get my foot on the porch, and my bag got caught on like the hook of, do you know, like how you have a hook so you can put the window open?
Right, yeah,
The
yeah,
little arm goes on. My bag had got caught on that. I was holding on to the wall and my foot on the thing, so I couldn't sort of pull it away in case I pulled it away and then fell on my head.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck there,
Dangling.
My dad comes back from working nights.
Yeah.
He thinks I'm a burglar.
Gets out his gun.
So he's shouting and stuff, going mad and going, Dad, it's me. And he had to give us a hand using a...
He's heard that wily trick in Manchester before.
He had to help me using a washing prop thing, a big stick.
What did he do?
Well, he said, just hold on for your dear life, and I'll sort of push the paper bag off the hook.
Why didn't he go upstairs and sort it out?
It was at that point where I was in the middle, there was nothing you could do, do you know what I mean? It's at that point where you've just got to make a decision.
Yeah.
And by the time you go upstairs, who knows what might have happened. Do you know what I mean? You've got to act there and then, don't listen around.
Yeah.
So...
And you could hear downstairs, now here he is, the Pink Panther.
Yeah.
Dad! Hurry up! Panther, ever so pink! Oh.
So that was close to death, because I must have been about 30 foot in the air.
Yeah.
And I would have, you know, that would have been nasty if I fell to the concrete paving, so...
Well, there's more to come. Should we play a record and come back to this? Because he's got more.
Oh yeah, no, there must be one of them where you did fall on your head. This is the one I'm waiting for. There's got to be one. That would explain so much.
Yeah.
I nearly broke my back.
Jeez.
Once. My dad said, I bet I can't kick me out. And I said, I bet I can. And
I don't remember this. You didn't tell me this one.
No, but it can what?
I was in the garden summer's day, and it was that era when like doing kung fu and all that was really popular.
Sure.
And I was like messing about in the garden, punching the tree and stuff. And my dad said,
What a kid he must have been.
my dad said, I bet you can't kick your height.
Kick your height? What do you mean, kick as high as yourself?
Yeah, so I must have been like 5 foot or something then. And I said, of course I can. So I bet you can't. But instead of doing it on the grass, I did it on like the concrete bit. Kicked it, actually did it. I went, there you go. But then like get my foot down quick enough and land on
you
my back.
paused to say there I've done it, as opposed to putting your foot back on the ground.
And landed on my back, and I'd still get back trouble now.
Do you?
Because they say that, don't they?
So to cut a long story short, he gave me about 4 or 5 near-death experiences, and he went, and the whole point of this, he went, so that's why I think I'm going to die of something horrible, like cancer. And I went, why? He went, right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
He said, well, I don't check my balls. Wait. He said, I don't like the feel.
Carl, have you ever logged on to Friends Reunited? It was the site that everyone was talking about last year.
No.
Are you aware of the concept?
I've heard about it, but there's no one at from school who'd want to see it
Hook up with.
again, really.
So basically, for those that don't know, you have to log onto his website, and then it helps you track down your old schoolmates if they've also logged on and stuff. And we sort of took the liberty, really, of looking on the Friends Reunited site and typing in your school and trying to track down any of your old mates. We didn't get in touch with any of them, don't we?
We didn't do that.
We're not going to surprise you with them now.
No.
But I was just interested to know, like, some of your thoughts on some of the names that I could run past you. I mean, these are people from your year. Just tell me if you recognise the names. Alison Birch?
Think I remember her.
What's your thoughts on her?
Don't
be libelous.
Don't be like that.
No. Posh probably did pretty well in history and that.
Sarah Morris?
God, yeah. Remember her.
Go on. You're grinning. What's the thought? Go on.
No, just, she was alright. She was a popular one.
What does that mean?
She was nice.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, what about Darren Buckley?
He was one of my best mates.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What do you reckon he's doing now? Do you still keep in touch?
When my mum and dad were still in Manchester and they had a butty shop, he used to go in because the bookies was next door.
I love the way you paint a picture. If you did this in your history exam, Carl, you will walk it.
Go on. So your parents had a butty shop. There was a bookies next door.
Yeah, and he liked having a bit of a gamble, so he used to. I think he works for some insurance company.
Do you think that his fiancée Beth knows he's got a gambling problem? Or that his 2-year-old son Lewis?
No.
Yeah, they live in Cheadle Home. Hume.
He must be doing well. 'Cause
He's still supporting the Blue Army and frequents the shrine on a fortnightly basis.
funny thing with him is, right, when I used to stay over at his house, and his dad was a copper, and I remember his dad came down and said, right, I want to see you two. I was like, oh God, what's happened? And got us round the table. He said, do you know much about drugs? So we were like, what's all this about? So he goes, you know, they're not good for anyone, you know, the stupid thing to get into. And we're like, yeah, we know. And he went, you know, do you? We said, yeah. He said, what's this then? And he'd found something in his bedroom, and it was a Skittle.
What, the sweet?
You know, little sweets with the S on it. And
Oh, really?
Drugs.
Yeah.
So he said, well, yeah, it's a Skittle. Yeah, I know what it is.
Oh, he was bluffing like that as a slang word.
Yeah, he thought because he was a copper, he probably had to be down with all the terms and that. So we said, oh, it's a Skittle. And he said, yeah, I know what it is, but what's it doing in your bedroom? And it was like, no, it's a toffee. Darren,
Yeah, I know, it's a toffee, it's a squib, it's a yeah.
Carl, more people from your past. Debbie Carr?
yeah, she was another nice one.
What does that mean? Is that a euphemism?
No, she was one of them that you'd sort of go, she's nice, but she'd never be your girlfriend. Do you know what I mean? She was,
Not really.
even though she was in the same year, she seemed a lot older.
Right.
And like,
Wasn't a teacher, was it?
there was 3 of them who all hung together, and they seemed to hang around like the older kids, the ones who looked like men. Do you know what I mean? They had,
What did you look like then?
well, it's just that I had youthful sort of looks, whereas like the older ones had like beards and stuff.
It's a gang of boys in the fifth form with beers. Were they smoking pipes? Come over here, me filly. Oh, Debbie Carr, come over here, you little beauty.
But she was like,
I love that. Hanging around with beers. There's the big boys. Oh, fishing. That's lovely beers.
I just see a whole row of George Bernard Shaws.
How do you do in history, boy? Think on it. You're an idiot.
they were like, you know, I'd be there sort of punching people in the arm. Cause we used to do that.
Oh, that's a great game.
Oh, I love that. Punch people in the arm.
Is that part of the Olympics now?
it's I think it was exhibition this year.
Right.
So it's
gonna be a pro next
it's going to be the Winter Olympics because you've got to do it in just a cap sleeve shirt in winter. Yeah.
So you're playing that?
She, but whilst I
But
was
she didn't
doing
appreciate that. She used to go, ow!
yeah, I always think whilst I was doing that, they were like the Charlie's Angels, and they'd be sorting out a mission somewhere because they were really like there was something about them that you thought, you know, it was special.
We were private detectives.
What do they work for a man they never see?
Okay, well, here's a name I'm interested in because, well, let me just tell you the name first. Adam Clifton. Oh. Go on, what are your thoughts on Clifton?
He was one of them kids. He was all right, but he had that thing when if you didn't have enough milk, he had like wrinkly hands and white bits in his nails.
Oh!
Because you didn't have enough milk.
Yeah.
So therefore, you didn't like him because you didn't get enough milk.
This is not to be confused with the 2 people with the big heads and the web feet, is it?
Well, this was
They weren't related. They must have been somewhere along the evolutionary sort of trail. Do you know what I mean? They must have come from the same sort of stock.
But you wouldn't have liked him. It's just one of them people. He was all right, but
before you say any more, on Friends United, you can leave a little message which explains what you've been doing and what your life's like now. And most people leave maybe 2 paragraphs. Adam, I've printed it off. He seems to have printed. I think there's about 6 pages here of stuff. He keeps updating it, and he just basically lists his memories about everyone. Okay, at the school and what he thinks of everyone. And he says, I often see Simon, he's doing all right for himself, self-employed illustrator, Mark Cooper, Carl Pilkington.
right.
And your name comes up. Now, I don't know if you've told us this story. I think you may have done, but I can't remember the facts about it. It just says, Carl Pilkington, with his pet bird, was it a magpie? I can't remember. He brought it to school to show everyone, and it flew away.
Oh God! Oh Oh no, they do that, don't they? You surround them.
What was the story
You
there, Carl?
give them seed and they just leave. What do you mean?
This sounds like Kes.
Well, that's it. I was a big fan of Kez, and it was the time our dog had just died,
Yeah.
so I didn't have any pets, and the cats were always getting run over,
Yeah.
and so we didn't want any more pets.
Yeah.
But there was a magpie that used to fly about on the estate, and I managed to sort of tame it. And in the end,
With a chair and a whip. What do you mean you tamed it?
Well, just used to sort of hang around it and talk.
How did
to
you
it.
get hold of it? Did you catch it?
Well, eventually, yeah, it used to just come to me, and the annoying thing was, it got to a point when I wish I hadn't bothered, because it used to pop me bike tyres. It used to sit on like, if I was talking to my mates and I was on my grifter.
I love like you just throw things in.
It's like an Alan Bennett play.
It landed on my tyre, and it used to peck at the tyre and pop it, and then it used to then never go away, so it was always like around the house, and my dad said never bring it in. So he used to sit on the porch, and I used to go out, and it used to fly down and land on my head, and it really hurt. It used to like peck and stuff.
He thought it was a tyre.
So it wasn't so much tamed as a stalker.
Oh God!
So you took it to school and it flew away?
Yeah.
So did you take it in proudly going, look at my magpie? Oh.
Oh no!
I think it got a bit confused in the area that it was in, because I used to just keep it sort of around our estate, but
Sure.
the school was a bit of a distance away.
How did you get it there?
Carrying it on my finger.
Did you walk?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was happy there, and then it got.
But it used to be one of those things that people would stop me in the street and sort of go, oh, what's that?
And I don't suppose
Maggie, called it Maggie.
you didn't get Charlie's Angels to go and find out what happened to it? Investigate?
Were they impressed?
No, not really.
A few more names that you may recall from Friends Reunited.
Go on.
Lisa Shufflebotham? Do you remember her?
Yeah, she,
Was she one of Charlie's Angels?
no, she wasn't that nice, but she wanted me. her and her mate Rachel, I remember, I don't know why, but it was some sort of PE lesson where it had to be a bloke and two girls, and they were fighting over me.
Could you hear what they were saying?
They were just like, I want him, and I was loving it. Stuck in the middle, and they were fighting over me. And then the next week, I thought I'll sit near them.
What sort of game do they play at his school?
I don't know,
That's an incredible game.
but I think
Punch me on the arm. No, punch me on the arm, Carl.
they just went through it. Because the following week, I thought, right, I'll sit near them again, because I quite enjoyed the way they fighted over me. But then they picked somebody else, and I don't know who I was with that week.
So you didn't get any action with Shufflebotham or a friend?
No. And when she got older, she went a bit off. She didn't look that good. She's probably nice now. It's just, I mean, I'll say about myself, when you get to sort of the end of secondary school, you do sort of go a bit odd looking.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? When your sort of head grows funny.
I would just love to go back to his school of that era. I mean, just what happened to people where they're, you know, all people sprouting limbs.
No, do you know
and
what I mean?
things.
When you're like 12 and that, you quite... No, not 12. When you're 10, when you're 7 to 10, you sort of look healthy, and you look at your pictures when you go, yeah, I was a good-looking lad. But then when you get to late secondary school, something happens,
Yeah.
and you just look a bit odd.
Okay, well what about Alison Thorpe?
Not sure about her. I sort of know the name, can't put a face to it.
Damien Comer?
Again, know the name, can't remember anything.
No.
Yeah.
It's a shame. Well, those are pretty much all the names I could find. We've had some interesting thoughts, though, and interesting anecdotes.
Yeah.
Anyone in particular that you'd like to say hello to that maybe listening now that
No,
you...
I think I would have mentioned Darren Buckley if you hadn't have brought him up.
Oh, right.
He was like my buddy.
Yeah. Did you ever see the Magpie game when you took it to the school and confused it?
No.
You're joking. That was the end of it, was it?
Yeah.
So where did it go?
Probably to some other kid. Because, I mean, actually, it probably got killed. Because if it was being that friendly with other people, some people might have took advantage of it.
In what way?
Well, there was a programme on the other week about...
What, in the way that Shufflebotham was trying to take advantage of you?
Yeah.
There was a programme on the other week about bear whisperers.
Yeah.
And some blokes got really friendly with a bear, and then when they were leaving that area where the bear was, they said, oh, we've caused a problem here, because there's some bear hunters coming in and moving into this area, and it's going to get a bullet if it acts like this, so they had to scare it away, and that's what I should have done with Maggie. I should have terrified it a little bit, so it wouldn't trust humans.
Just introduced you to some of your schoolmates, I'm sure would have freaked it right out.
Well, the ones with
Maybe
the
that was
big
why
head-
it fled.
It didn't see.
it's
Oh no!
weird.
It didn't see those two fellas with big heads and webbed hands coming towards it, did it?
That would have terrified anything. It's like a scarecrow, like two walking scarecrows.
Express 2 featuring David Byrne, Lazy, XFM 104.9, 1:45. I'm Ricky Gervais. Steve's got the Sun.
Yes, I'm just
We're just going to be doing White Van Carl, where we ask Carl the questions the Sun asked some other bloke.
That's right.
Because we think Carl's got more to say than anyone on anything. Carl only tells the truth, by the way. Just remember that, listeners. Off you go.
Yes, well, today's White Van Man in the Sun is John Slade. He owns his own door maintenance company. His answers are very informative, I have to say. But Carl, what do you make of the Channel 4 producer, aged 30, who duped a school into believing he was a teenager for a documentary? Are you familiar with this story?
No, go on.
Well, basically a 30-year-old guy kind of fooled the school into thinking he was a pupil for a secret documentary. The school's outraged. Do you think that that's, for you, should anything go when it comes to making TV?
I think I've said to you before, there's loads of kids at my school. I remember being in the first year, and kids are, what year do schools go up to? I was in the first year, what is it?
11.
5?
Oh, sorry, first year of infants and juniors.
No, secondary school.
11.
Right, year 11. Kids
No.
have beards and
No,
stuff.
not year 11. They're 11 when they first go to secondary school.
Right, well I'm 11, the kids at the older
Well,
end.
there's the
Well, it
fifth form,
depends.
and then
You
there's
can
the
leave when
sixth
you can
Right.
leave when you're 16, I think, can't you now?
Right, well kids who were 16
Yeah.
looked old. They did have beards. I remember going there and thinking some of them were teachers.
I think he's answered that. Next one, what's the next one?
Tattoos and everything. I think they're kids in the earlier years even.
What do you make of the fact that Mariah Carey's £38 million payoff has cost EMI staff their jobs, and we're talking 1,800 EMI staff who have lost their
What do you
jobs?
think of that?
Yeah,
I mean, is that silly money, Mariah Carey, on 38 million?
she doesn't need that much.
She doesn't need that much. She has to dress nice, though.
It's not her fault. I'd say it's bad business.
Okay.
Because EMI, did you say?
Yes.
Right. They've got rid of them staff.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey's left. Who's going to do the work?
Do you think Mariah should come back and do some temping?
Well, they should have got a loan and paid her.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Vicious circle, that.
Right.
Have you done a business degree, haven't you?
Commerce.
You did commerce. Where did you do that? What did you do with that?
At school, I'd learned how to fill out a cheque, pay a bill, and I think I had a trip round Kellogg's.
Did you get no level at GCSE?
We know you didn't.
No, I
But was there a commerce exam, or was it just a division of
can't
maths?
remember.
What did you do? Fill out a check?
Subset of
It was
maths.
an option. It was like, if you want to do it, you can.
What was it? Fill out a check.
Fill out
Pay a
a check,
bill.
Pay a bill.
Have a visit round
Nip round
Kellogg's.
Kellogg's, and I saw my sister's boyfriend there at the time. He sorted me out with some variety packs.
Really? What was in them?
You know, Rice Krispies and
Good stuff.
Cocoa Pops.
Space Dust or whatever it is.
Space Dust.
So, sorry, that wasn't Ken Dodd, no. That was someone else. That was an aunt.
Yeah, that wasn't Special K.
What do you make of fears that dumped Britney Spears? She's been dumped by her boyfriend. There's worries that she may be cracking up, Carl. You concerned?
What are the signs?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. I'm just reading from this section, but I would assume that she's obviously showed signs of depression, maybe.
She'll be alright. I remember, like, you know, Zoe Harris, when she sort of got bored of me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Get over it, I don't even think about her now.
What? And how long did it take you? How long did it take you to get over Zoe?
Sorry, Alice.
How long did it take
To be
you?
honest, right, it was like one of my first girlfriends, and she was a pain. I remember I went out with her because she wouldn't stop hassling me, right? Yeah. I remember
Oh, go on
I
then.
never talked to her, and then the bit that really got me, I thought I half liked her, and then I remember, right, we were at a school party, sort of infant school,
Infant school.
right?
Are you sure it wasn't junior school?
Well, it's sort of on the cusp,
Yeah.
like, when you're about to leave infants and go to the next one.
Yeah.
And she was crying.
You were saying, I don't think we should move in together.
She was crying.
She was crying.
Oh, was she?
Had you
She
stolen
must-
her milk?
She must have been nearly 6. Why did she grow up?
No, she was crying because somebody had stood on a dress and put a bit of an hole in it. And I said, oh, for God's sake.
I can't stand it. Oh,
So
God.
you.
I just think
So you gave her a slap?
And I just think of him, like, 6, like, with clogs and a flat cap, going slightly bald, going, for Christ's sake, woman, come on. Oh,
Light him a pipe.
I finished it because all the mates were saying, come on, Carl, she's upset. And I was like, oh, whatever. So again.
Hold on, no, wait a minute, what do you mean all the mates were saying, like, come on, Carl? They were 6, weren't they?
Yeah, but they were saying, come on, she's crying. Help her out.
And you did nothing?
I don't know.
She got injured. Got a hole in her skirt.
Yeah, but she was upset and you were her boyfriend.
Well,
So what did you do? Tell me the story. Where were you?
Work out.
You were at some kind of school do. There was a hole in her
That's why
dress.
it didn't work out, he said.
Do you treat your current girlfriend in the same way? This callous disregard for someone's feelings?
His current girlfriend does not tread on her dress. Does she? Oh, she didn't.
So as far as you're concerned, what was her name? Sarah?
Zoe.
Zoe Harris. You just felt like, well, you know, if she's going to make a whinge about, you know, a silly little hole, screw her.
Yeah.
You're all heart, Carl.
What would you have done?
I'd have gone over there and given her a lovely kiss.
No, you wouldn't.
It's so rude.
We were playing Dead Arm.
If you had hair, what would it be like?
What do you mean?
Well, you obviously had hair then, back then. What was the style?
It was like, sort of, I had quite sort of, fine, sort of straight hair.
Yeah.
Right.
Hairdresser once said to me, you've got hair of a Chinaman.
He was a wise man, wasn't he? What do you think that meant then? Oh.
He just said, he just said you got the same hair as a Chinese man has. Very straight, quite fine.
Why is he I just imagine this pal going, the Arsenal's well, isn't it, sir? Shall I have someone on that? You have the hair of a Chinaman. Nothing. You're not the spy. No, I'm not. Thank you. Good night. Oh, you're not my son. Yeah, lovely. You have the feet of a fish. I'm sorry, nothing. It's not you. Okay, next. You have the hair of a Chinaman.
It was one of those barbers. It was a cheap one, just on a railway bridge.
I don't believe that. Go on.
On a railway bridge.
That's why it was cheap. It was very low rent, so he could charge.
That wasn't a barber, that was a man with some scissors.
Yeah. Did you go, oh, have to move you there, sir? Wow. Okay, back in the chair, sir.
I imagine them on one of those things you always see in old films where you've got
You have to pump it up and down, yeah, like a Caesar. Yeah.
That's not as good as that. It was just a normal chair, little wooden hut, and he did have to stop when a train came past because it used to.
Well, because he had to change the signal.
Just making a few extra bucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I love
That's
that.
Manchester for you.
Oh, God.
I always
it
remember
wasn't Bernard Cribbins, was it?
I always remember him saying, do you want your hair washing? And I said, is it free? You know, does it come with it? And he said, yeah. So I said, oh, go on then. He said, hang on now, I'll just have to wash these mugs up. He had like a sink full of mugs.
Oh,
So I'll just
God.
take these out and then I can wash your head.
Oh, no.
And that's why.
Why did you go to this man?
It was cheap.
How much was it?
About £2.
And when was this?
God. At 88, 89.
All right.
Yeah.
So what happened to your Chinese hair? When did it start coming out?
You have the hair of a bald Chinaman now, don't you?
You've got the hair of a Chinaman in a box now.
I used to just work a lot of hours, and I think,
That's what made it fall out.
yeah, of course.
No, it's not. It's genetic. You can't stop
It's
it.
not genetic.
Of course it is.
Your dad bald?
No, it's got more hair than me now, I think.
Is your mum?
Kojak's got more hair than you, Carl.
Anyway,
Don't have a go at Carl's hair, that's a bit harsh.
Oh, look at his little
what
face.
did he say before in that book about going bald? It said, it had a little tip, didn't it? We'll go over them later.
It says, if you're going thin, doesn't it say, cut your hair short and something like
So
that?
it makes you look thicker. I've never been into getting presents and that. I had the problem at that Christmas one, that time with the Victoria Plum.
Yeah, we'd hate that. We'd hate to bring that back.
We've done that.
Because you talked about the book, because it's kind of to do with your dad, isn't it? He's a very bad gift buyer, was that the problem?
Well, yeah, my dad just wouldn't bother. It was my mum who sort of made an effort, and she sort of worked out half of what I wanted, then she left it to my dad to get it off someone, see if he could get one cheap or whatever.
I love the fact that usually people talk about like drinking heavily or violent abuse, right?
Yeah.
But here's what he's been left with and scarred with from parents is bad gift buying.
Yeah, and
That's
the
not so
Victoria
bad, is
Plum
it?
incident.
In the greater scheme of things in the world, that's not a bad thing to have, is it?
Right, there was this. This is what it's like about getting presents and stuff, right? With me, with my mum and dad.
Go on.
My mate Colin, right? He
Colin
had
Makin?
no, Colin Daly.
Oh,
right? He had a little Sinclair Spectrum, right? Computer, which was like the thing to have at that time, right?
Yeah.
You used to always go round to his house. The deal was
Not the one you had to play through the window because you weren't allowed.
no, that's another lad.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
This is a different lad, and the deal was he came to our house and my mum gave him a pie. And then I'd go round to his, and I'd stay there for a few hours playing, Hungry Horace and stuff like that on it. Right? Now, my mum and dad knew that I really wanted one of these computers, right? So I waited about a year,